So we are getting the day started right now. Looked over a bunch of charts and prepping up. So we are getting started right now. Like I said before, I usually start off like around in between the hours of like 12 to 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't know if you guys can see me. Yeah, so anywhere between 12 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Usually just kind of get my day started, man. Stay ahead of the curve so you're not behind it, right? So I was able to grab that dope footage on the strip solely because Vegas, as you guys know, it's growing right now. So they're doing a lot of construction when it comes to the freeways and stuff. So I was like, you know what, let me try to grab some footage on the strip. It looked pretty dope. But that's one thing about Vegas though, man, is that it is a growing market. So when I look at Vegas out of I would say the entire world besides Dubai, right? Dubai is like pretty much growing and super big. It's a juggernaut right now. But in my opinion, I believe that Vegas is the top 5 city in the entire world. That's just what I believe because they're just doing so much when it comes to the sports teams, right? The Raiders just kind of came out here. They're trying to get a baseball team, and they're also trying to get a basketball team as well too. And they're just making the whole experience just digital, you know what I mean? The housing market as well is growing as well too, which kind of sucks, but I understand it. And I mean, overall too, just in general, in America, housing prices, I believe the medium housing price, if I'm not mistaken, is about $450, kind of closing in on $500,000. But prior to 2020, housing prices are roughly around $320,000. So if you did get in prior to that date, you're pretty much sitting on a really good investment, I would say, you know what I mean? But yeah, Vegas, they got a lot of stuff going for themselves. One thing I would say that I do not like about Vegas, and that is the damn street lights. Vegas, fix your damn street light. Like, I'll give you one rant on that, and that is that, bro, you'll be sitting at a street light for damn near 5-10 minutes just waiting for it to turn, and I'm like, bro, you guys don't have any better technology to come with this city? Like, it's just ridiculous. Chris from Starbucks, the usual. So it's crazy. So I was looking at some statements for the month of July, and it pretty much showed me that I spent about $80. If I'm not, I don't know if it was in a month. I completely forgot. I don't know if it was in a month or it was in a week. But it basically showed me that I spent about $80. I gotta double check. I'll write it on the screen. But basically, it showed me that I spent $80 on Starbucks within that time frame, and I started to think to myself, I was like, dude, I should not be spending $80 on Starbucks. I read this one post, and it described as a person who goes out to eat Starbucks every single day. I think over the course of 20 years, it was the equivalent of the interest that a person will be paying for a house over a 30-year fixed loan. And I was like, yo, that's pretty crazy. I mean, when you think about it, Starbucks cold brew is what, $3.59? I'm sure over the next 2-3 years, this coffee is gonna for sure be about $4, right? So you do $4, you times that by 5 days in a week. Usually people work 5 days, and you times that by a month, and you times that by a year, you times that by 20. That's a lot of money, right? So doing that math, you got 4 times 5 equals 20, times that by times that by 20 days in a month for 5 days. That's $400 in a month, right? If I'm not mistaken, right? 20 times 20, $400, right? You times that by 12, that's $4,800. You times that by 30, that's $144,000. You just literally spent $144,000 over the course of 30 years if you decided to drink coffee every single day for your work week versus making your own coffee at home. That's a bad investment. It's a lot of coffee for a tall, right? You say? Like down there. Yeah, I mean, then too, when you add in the price of breakfast, right? So I ended up buying Starbucks new egg and breakfast-ish sandwich. I don't know what it was, but I'll show you guys. When you add in breakfast, spending $14 a day along with your coffee, you know, you can almost assume if it's $144,000 over the course of 30 years, you add the breakfast budget as well too, bro, you're practically buying a house over the course of 30 years if you decide to, you know, go the breakfast route and eating out every single day. Now, my first take on this egg pesto breakfast sandwich from Starbucks, it's chill. I don't think it really has that much nutrition, so it just kind of tells me it probably was a waste of money. It's decent. Will I get it again? Probably not. Now, this fast food culture thing, I believe it's just more of a Western style. I don't know if Europe does it. I've never been to Europe, but being that Hawaii is now a part of America, I don't think that Hawaii used to be that way. I could be completely wrong, but all the companies that I guess you could say fast food companies that I've seen in Hawaii, mainly towards the tourist area, are more American companies like McDonald's. I think McDonald's was the only big brand that I've seen over there. I don't know if I've seen Target in Hawaii. I could be wrong. But yeah, like the whole fast food driven culture, when the numbers do, literally over a span of 30 years, people are practically paying, medium housing prices, $350,000. And sometimes people have 2 breakfasts or it's lunch and dinner. So, consider people are spending as much as three worth of houses over the span of 30 years, which is insane in my opinion. And you can't forget the tip as well too. So the tip, consider that to be like a brand new car that people are spending, because people spend about 10 to 15 bucks, or even 30 bucks depending on where you're going to eat at, on tips. So when you ask yourself, why are people so broke, this is one of the reasons. Do people count the numbers? Probably not. I don't think people go out and they think and say, oh, well, if I get that coffee, that's going to be just as much as a house over the course of 20 years. Normal people don't think like that. We just think about the now, the moment, how we feel. Is it going to give me, is my dopamine going to get, it's high or whatever the case may be. And that's where we kind of think about it. But I think if more people think about when they work for their currency and then they go spend their currency and they actually take a second to think about, how is me spending this currency this way gonna benefit me? I can go on and on about this, but I don't trading and investing. Some people, just because they have the money,